The sport is sponsored by eBay. Eagles win a slugfest last night, 10-7 over the Green Bay Packers. Not a lot of offense in that one, though Devontae Smith did catch a 36-yard touchdown. The Lakers beat the Hornets last night. They'll be on the road in Oklahoma City tomorrow night, taking on the defending champs. The defending champs tonight, though, will be hosting the Golden State Warriors. That game is at 5 o'clock. Oklahoma City is currently favored by 7.5. eBay is home to millions of finds, and each one becomes part of your story. From your favorite vintage band tee to the dream car you've been searching for, or the foul ball you heroically gave away. It's all there on eBay. eBay, things people love.
We've reached high noon. Time for the Fletch Zone.
No fluff, just facts.
With some Monday Night Madness.
Hurts, fakes, looks, steps up. He is floating the football. It is the Devonta Smith touchdown!
The Aztecs trying to find answers after the weekend in Hawaii.
And more reaction after the Padres introduce their new manager.
Now live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, we enter the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody. What's going on? We got Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then, and we got a busy one for you today on a Tuesday. Couple of big giveaways. SeaWorld at Christmas time. We got a 4-pack of tickets for you to go to that. We have a pair of tickets for this weekend, San Diego State, Boise State game at Snapdragon Stadium. Going to be a big one at Snapdragon coming up on Saturday. We also have rain coming to San Diego. Don't know what's going on there, but all of a sudden it's going to be wet outside apparently. And it's a Veterans Day, a very happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Look, we live in San Diego. It's a military town. I love the fact that it's a military town. In fact, I moved to San Diego almost a decade ago now. And when I got here, was immediately kind of made a friend group of a bunch of guys who are in the Navy. And man, I've enjoyed so much getting to know them over the last decade or so, and being able to have that kind of core group as soon as I got here. And it's an awesome thing that we live in a town like that. And it's an awesome thing that we have so many brave men and women over the last couple of 100 years that this country's been around who have stood up and fought for it. It's what makes this place special. It's what makes this place unique. And thank you to everybody, every man and woman who has served this country in the military. You've done more than we ever will. And we appreciate the hell out of you, especially here in San Diego, especially here on Veterans Day today. Sammy, a happy Veterans Day to you, who you are a veteran
of gambling,
of
long shots. Yeah. In all seriousness, obviously, just a very important day to honor everyone in your lives, or just people that you don't know, giving their life to this country, or their lives. So shout out to all of them.
Shout out to all of them, indeed. In fact, on the talkback mic today, if you would like to shout out a veteran in your life, we'll play them all as we go on here from noon to 2 today. Ben Fletcher and Sammy Long. If you want to use the talkback mic, go to the free iHeartRadio app, open it up. Find that little red microphone in the top right-hand corner when you're listening to San Diego Sports 760. That'll allow you to leave essentially a voicemail that goes straight to Sammy's computer. If you have a veteran in your life you want to thank, you can do it there. Give us the name, give us the rank. Hell, just give a little shout out in your own words. We'd love to hear it here today on a Veterans Day. I'll start. My grandfather, Grandpa Jim, Grandpa Fletch, flew over 1,500 combat hours in Vietnam, has something like 11,000 hours in the cockpit of fighter jets throughout his military career. Thank you, Grandpa Jim. Appreciate the hell out of you. You're a badass, and you know that. But it's San Diego Sports 760 here, and we're going to talk a lot of sports today. So let's get into it right away. We have breaking news from Las Vegas immediately, Sammy. The GM meetings are going on in Las Vegas right now. I'm not sure what hotel they're at, but I do know that Jesse Rogers, who covers the Chicago Cubs, I believe, and other teams around Major League Baseball, has tweeted out the first big news from the GM meetings. It's not a trade. It's not a contract extension. It's not a general manager contract extension. It is the results of a pickleball game. And the Padres have risen above everyone else. The Padres take down the Dodgers in the championship, the World Series of pickleball. How about that? An offseason dub for the boys.
Clap it up. Maybe they could actually get to some business there, and sign some free agents that could help this team. But yes,
you competed in a professional pickleball tournament, Sammy, a pro-am, if you will.
I did, actually. I did not fare as well as the Padres. My team did. I was kind of the dead weight. I was the 15th guy on the bench gets a ring. That's kind of my motto. It's like the guy that doesn't do anything in the group project, but you get an A. It's a communal A. But yeah, always interesting with the.
I wonder who was on the team. If it's Padres front office members, do you think it was AJ Preller and John Seidler, maybe, who are just dominating out there? Is it a couple interns? Like, I'm genuinely curious who's on the team. Is it Craig Stammen? Is he just an excellent pickleball player?
Yeah, Craig Stammen. Maybe that's how he got hired.
Maybe
he's a good pickleball player. And AJ Preller said, "I need you." Real quick though,
you know, like in driving, you bet pink slips every once in a while. What if Craig Stammen was playing 1v1 with AJ Preller and said, "I bet the managerial position that I'll beat you in pickleball"?
You know, I was listening to John and Jimmy yesterday on the way home, and it kept sticking. We talked about this a little bit on the show yesterday, but the clip of him saying, Craig Stammen basically saying, AJ Preller had to convince me.
Yeah.
And then my wife and my family to even get in the running. Like it was like they were begging for them to even get in the race. Like you would think it would be the other way around. Everyone kind of presumed it was Craig Stammen was a part of the search. He's like, you know what? Why don't I go for this thing? Throws his hat in the ring, and AJ Preller and them decide to do it. I mean, this is like the way that they made that sound, and maybe this goes back to him not having an extension yet. The fact that AJ Preller pushed for this guy to be the manager, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. We'll see in the upcoming year. It does feel like Preller kind of staked his job on Craig Stammen.
We said that about Jace Tingler. We said that about Bob Melvin.
I guess that's true as well.
We said that about Mike Schultz. All those guys lasted around 2 years. So I don't know that Preller's job has any need to be staked on something. I said that about them making it far in the postseason this year. It feels like every year Preller is staking his job on something. Preller's still here, and he's one of the longest tenured GMs in all of baseball right now. In my mind, he either already has a contract extension, already knows exactly what the contract extension is going to be, or Preller wants out. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And I don't know where everyone else is, but we'll see what happens here in the next few weeks. He's in Vegas right now. He's representing the Padres.
It's odd that the Padres would let him get asked, because like Marty Caswell was yesterday, we played her clip on the show, was asking straight to AJ Preller's face, got to give her a lot of credit. Like, what's up with the contract? Like, why we didn't hear anything about this at the podium? You're sitting there. Obviously, it's Craig Stammen's day. But credit to her for asking that question. The Padres put him in a bad spot for not having a contract lined up to sit there. And as evidenced by his answer, he didn't really answer the question, kind of distracted from it, and kind of just played around the edges. But it's just an odd situation playing out with the Padres right now. Hopefully he gets a long-term contract. We can kind of move past this and start looking at who's actually going to be on the field next year. But until that happens, it's just going to be this question. You think it would impact incoming free agents?
All right, we are going to bribe you to listen to the show today. We got a couple of really good giveaways. Aztecs football tickets taking on Boise State this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium, plus a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego for their Christmas time celebration. That tree is crazy, man. You can see it from the 8 freeway. I think you can see it from the 15 freeway. That thing lights up the sky here in San Diego. So if you want a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld, just keep on listening. You want a pair of tickets to Aztecs football, just keep on listening. We're going to get to the big three right now, where Sammy Long rips through the top stories of the world of sports. So, Sammy, here on a Veterans Day in San Diego, let's smash it.
Your lunch break is here.
Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
I mean, coworkers.
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
How about we just jump right in, huh? Where are we going?
Let's go to that, as Joe Buck liked to say last night, that riveting scoreless at half game between the Packers and the Eagles.
I'm going to call a quick timeout on the plate. 30 seconds. Am I allowed to do that, Sammy?
Yeah.
All right, whistle on the plate. I was actually on, Discord. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
So my buddies and I have one that we watch Monday night primetime games together, essentially every time, because we always have some sort of money going on primetime games together. And so I'm watching this game literally with 3 of my best friends from college. And while we're watching the game, we all have our AirPod in with the Discord, and we're all watching on our TVs at our house. And I'm watching that game, and at one moment, we all just start laughing. And it's when Joe Buck says, I tell you what, for a scoreless game, this has been one of the most compelling watches I've seen all season. I'm like, shut the F up, Joe Buck. This first half was boring, and that's all it was. You don't need to try to make it any better.
What he was trying to say, and I get it, but it comes off different when you're obviously a voice of the network, you're the face of the network in terms of calling games. Like, I like watching defense too. I know you do as well. It's fun when you see the fumbles happening, but it was a sluggish game. I mean, a lot of scoreless games usually like 3 and out, and they just punt the ball. I see what he was saying, that they were actually moving the ball. They just both had key turnovers at certain spots. But like, what stood out to you in that game? Jordan Love post game said their quote, the offense is quote letting the defense down. Where does Jordan Love stack in QBs in the NFC?
Look, I don't think either quarterback had a particularly good night last night. And look, this game had a lot of hype. Who was it? Jay Silv on our YouTube chat yesterday saying finally we get a banger for Monday Night Football.
Well, everyone thought it was going to be.
I don't think either team played particularly well. I don't think either quarterback played particularly well. However, Jalen Hurts did make the big throws in the second half to Devontae Smith. Not really to AJ Brown though. But in terms of Jordan Love, man, I don't. He's not where he should be as of right now. We've seen potential in Jordan Love over the last few seasons, and he's obviously an excellent athlete. He obviously has a cannon of an arm. I don't know if they've set him up the best with wide receivers, or even the talented receivers he have been injury prone their entire career. Jordan Love is sliding for me this year, though. I'm worried about his future because I feel like he should be further along the process right now.
It also, Jordan, that was disappointing. Like, Jalen Hurts did not play well. We'll get into that later in the show about the Eagles, but
push is BS, by the way.
Completely BS. But we're looking at the Packers. Like, this is 2 weeks in a row. You lose to the Panthers inexplicably because the offense is terrible. You should have thrown a pick six in that game. Remember, Trayvon Merrick just literally dropped a 100-yard pick six in his hands. Then this week, you're thinking, okay, bounce back, a little bit of a trap game. Panthers better than people give him credit for, can score a little bit. And just flat in, he was missing Romeo Doubs over the middle twice, completely just a bad throw. He ducked it. Then he had Christian Watson with the third to last drive or the second to last drive going deep down the sideline. He missed him. He should have thrown it more to the outside. Troy Aikman highlighted on the broadcast. Like, he was bad in that game. Jalen Hurts was not very good either. But again, as you mentioned, he made a couple plays. The Devontae Smith play, he had that big third and long completion. He had
a couple of runs, too, in the second half that extended drives.
At least if you're defending the Eagles, they're on the road. At least you give them that.
And one of their longest tenured players, Dickerson, goes down in that game in injury.
So not that I'm excusing them, but at least they had that going for them. Jordan Love, I mean, this was a guy who was supposed to be, by this point, in the upper echelon as a top 5, top 10 quarterback, and I just don't see it right now. I don't see him in the NFC as an elite quarterback. I can name 4 to 5 quarterbacks that I would take ahead of him. And I'm telling you, the winner of last night was Jerry Jones. And this isn't a shot on Micah Parsons.
What a fun way to look at that. Because, you're right, and I see where you're going with it.
Because Micah Parsons, he had the big rundown at the end of the game on Jalen Hurts, but it's 2 games in a row with no sacks. The Packers thought they were a piece away, and they clearly are not right now. I think this team is very flawed offensively. They're not winning a Super Bowl in my estimation. I don't think they're getting to a Super Bowl, maybe even not even an NFC championship game, and they gave up all these future draft picks to get them. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm sitting there back last night going, okay.
Well, right now you would have to put the Seahawks, the Rams, the Lions, and the Eagles above the Packers.
All 4 of them. And there's some arguments you could argue with Tampa Bay.
Right.
You could I mean, there's a couple teams you could argue.
Fast. It is crazy with the Packers. And you're right. Jerry Jones is probably sitting back watching that game last night, eating a chicken. What does he eat for McDonald's?
A McGriddle.
Yeah, McGriddle with salt on it, and enjoying that game. That's funny, man. All right, what's next?
All right, let's head to the NBA. Nico Harrison, GM of the Dallas Mavericks, fired after the team starts 3-8. The Luka Doncic trade last year was highly criticized. Luka Doncic is averaging more points per game than Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis combined. Do you like the firing now?
The timing is very odd to me. Look, I said this at the time when the Luka Doncic trade happened last season because it was so lopsided, and you don't trade generational talents like that. Nico Harrison had to have some sort of guarantees from ownership, and in fact, ownership had to be the driving cause behind trading Luka Doncic. That's not something you do as a general manager with job security interest on the line. So in my mind, there had to be some sort of backroom handshake deal between Nico Harrison and Mavs ownership that if I do this Luka Doncic trade, my job is safe. So the reason I'm thinking this is weird timing is because now you're 11 games into the next season, and all you did was draft Cooper Flagg, which is supposed to be a can't miss prospect, and I think eventually it will be, but it's not working out great right now. You made the trade for Luka Doncic. I don't know what else you were expecting to get from the Lakers other than Anthony Davis and a bunch of guys. So I'm looking at this like Nico Harrison is the fall guy for a lot of things that went wrong with Dallas. I don't know that he's the reason things went wrong with Dallas, but awfully convenient that 11 games into a season, fans in an uproar, fans missing Luka, obviously, and all of a sudden you just have a guy you can fire. There's something we don't know is happening in Dallas.
And I got to give you credit on the Cooper Flagg thing now. I think he's going to be a fantastic player, but you said he was going to struggle early, and he went to a place where the Mavs were a sexy kind of Western Conference Finals, potential NBA Finals pick with Kyrie Irving coming back at some point this season. But I think where Nico Harrison went wrong, it's a horrible decision to trade Luka Doncic, number one. But number two, when then you make it a point to trash him and talk about how he's fat, he's lazy, he smokes hookah, he's got all of his guys with his whole entourage, he's interested in hanging out with them rather than actually playing basketball. And this guy's in the MVP conversation, averaging in the 40s so far early on this season. And he's in shape. And then Anthony Davis, the guy that the Lakers let go. Rob Pelinka convinced them to not take Austin Reeves, another young talent, in order to get Anthony Davis. Now, all of a sudden, I mean, I hate to make fun of the guy's weight, but
are we allowed to fat shame Anthony Davis a little bit?
He's getting big. He's dealing with injuries already. He's been one of the most injury-prone players his entire career. I mean, Nico.
They're saying he's 15 pounds heavier than when he was with the Lakers. Look, I know what 15 pounds looks like. I've been up and down 15 pounds a million times in my life. That's more than 15.
Anthony Davis is not a leader, a number one on a team. LeBron kept him in check during his tenure with the Lakers, and it's not even a shot to Anthony Davis. He's a great player. He's just always been a guy with great talent that could never achieve the next level as being the dominant force on a team. Yeah, he should have been gone a long time ago, and now he's gone now.
All right, tee up story number 3. We're going to get to it on the other side.
We have breaking news. Travis Hunter is out for the year with an LCL injury. We're going to get to that in the Jaguars on the other side.
We will do that on the other side. YouTube chat is open at San Diego Sports 760. You can find us there. Join the conversation. The talkback mic is wide open. We would love to hear from you today on a Veterans Day. Give your veteran in your life a shout out, and we will play those all back on the show today. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances today for you to win $1,000 with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock today. In fact, shout out to our buddy Troy who won $1,000 here in San Diego. How about it? Big Troy walking away with $1,000. What would you do with $1,000 if I gave it to you right now, Sammy?
Do I have to spend it today, or can I? Like, I'm not going to save it.
Yeah, but just don't be a loser with it. What are you doing today?
Probably go to the casino.
I like it.
Definitely go to the casino.
Now, on Black Friday, Walmart is doing a 98-inch TV for $998.
That would be, is it good picture though? Or is it one of these giant TVs? It's terrible picture.
See, I bought one of it was like a $400 TV. It's 75 inches. It's huge. And it's in our living room right now. And I was worried about the picture when I bought it. They're all pretty good.
Okay, because I had a friend who had a giant TV like that, and it was like awful to watch but I think it was really cheap. So if you go, yeah, I'm sure if it's $1,000, it's gonna be.
It's a 98-inch TV. That's $1,000. I would imagine it's not going to be top of the line like OLED awesome picture, but it's probably not bad.
I tell you what, I cannot recommend enough is the curved TV. I got one for my bedroom. It's like smaller TV. I think it's like 50 inches, something like that. It's got the curve. Fantastic.
Sammy loves the curves on his TV. He always has. We know that about him. We know that about Mr. Long Shots over there. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Sammy, you said it, but we got some breaking news that Travis Hunter, the star two-way player, defensive end, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, is going to miss the rest of the season with an injury he sustained, I believe it was 3 weeks ago now, against the Rams. It was either the beginning of the Rams game or the end of the Seahawks game. I could be wrong on that. But Travis Hunter, who started out very useful, I would say, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was good on offense. He was good on defense. But this was the concern for a lot of people, including yours truly, when the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted him as early as they did. It's the fact that if you are going to play him both ways, that's going to open him up to more opportunities to be injured. And that's not a way anybody wants to think about it heading into an NFL season. But this is a guy who, for the most part, played both ways all through college, every play of every game. The NFL is just a different level of athleticism everywhere on the field, and you do open yourself up to some more injuries. The problem is for the Jacksonville Jaguars is all of a sudden after a really nice start to the season, they've lost 3 out of 4. And 2 of those were Seahawks and Rams, which maybe they were dogs heading into, but they barely beat the Raiders in that kind of wild overtime game. If you remember, 30-29. And then this past weekend, they lose to the Texans in a game they were not only up big on, but in a game that CJ Stroud wasn't playing in.
Right. Davis Mills looked like the next franchise quarterback for the Houston Texans.
So the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I would say had playoff expectations coming into this year, you're kind of seeing that slip out of your fingertips in the blink of an eye. And I don't know if this is the organization going to start to question their quarterback, yet another head coach and Liam Cohen, who came over and was all Duval. Where do the Jags go from here if it's not going to work again?
Well, they actually, this was one of the, remember the draft day trade? The Browns moving out of the pick so the Jags could jump up there and get it. They got Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. They got a first-round pick next year. This is one of the rare decisions, just like the Jets at the trade deadline this year, where the Jets and Browns, 2 historically bad organizations, I feel like actually made good decisions and didn't take the sexy pick, the big name, Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy. I mean, that's the guy that moves the headlines. And it feels like Jacksonville wanted headlines. When they talk about London getting a team, who's the first team always mentioned? Jacksonville. Because they don't have a super big fan base, and they would probably be the least missed of any of the teams in America.
And I think the NFL would be okay being done with Jacksonville. Yeah. No offense to anybody who loves that area.
No, right. You already have teams in Miami and Tampa Bay. You don't need a team in Jacksonville as well. And I think this just goes back to Trevor Lawrence. This is a big game on Sunday. You're playing the Chargers. The Chargers coming to Jacksonville. The Chargers are 2.5-point road favorites. You're talking about 2 quarterbacks in Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, who at one point in their careers were talked about as the next guys, the next top 5 talent quarterbacks. Well, Herbert's proving that with a real head coach, despite all the offensive line injuries, that he's a legit big time quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, listen, I think he's going to be there because the Jags need to sell tickets, and you do see the talent there. But they had the big win over the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, and ever since then, they've just completely gone downhill against all the big-time opposition.
Well, my favorite stat in the world is that Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones, since they've been in the league, are essentially the same exact quarterback by the numbers. guess what? Daniel Jones is now a better quarterback
Right.
than Trevor Lawrence throughout their careers.
And it's like, this is what happens when you have a franchise in Shad Khan who pays Christian Kirk over $70 million. He was
Crazy.
the number 3 receiver.
Not even on the team anymore, by the way. Still getting paid by the team, though.
Right. It's just for names. They have to sell tickets. And I feel like now you go for Travis Hunter. It wasn't totally working out the first half of the season to begin with.
He was nice. He was better
good
than I thought he would be, if I'm being completely honest, because he was a lockdown corner and he had a few really nice plays offensively as well. Travis Hunter actually looked better than I thought he would, but I was worried about the injury coming into the year.
Right. And what's happening is, and then they have to determine is just play him at receiver.
Right.
Or play him at, like, pick one.
Oh, look who's all of a sudden coming over to this side.
I was with the whole play him both ways, but you could tell early on in the season, especially on offense, he looked confused with the offensive play calls because he's not in offensive meetings. I'll give you credit. I thought you should play him both ways, but with the injury now, I think you do have to pick one and try to make him an offensive star, especially with Brian Thomas Jr. not playing good.
I don't
football.
know if everyone's hearing what's happened on the show today so far, but Sammy has now given me credit twice. 2 times.
This is the last time today.
2 times in one show. The first one because I said Cooper Flagg was going to struggle to start this year, and he has. And the second one because I said Travis Hunter should not be playing both ways.
Yes,
and I was right.
We're doing a top 5 teams in the NFL next.
Oh, thank goodness. There's donuts coming in the studio too.
Text us 70470. Start your message with team. Your top 5 teams in the NFL, because I guarantee you Fletch and I are going to be disagreeing.
I got a donut delivery, Sammy. There's one coming in for you too. Thank you, Taylor Yip. Yes, top 5 list of NFL teams. Power rankings come out on Tuesdays. We will do our very own coming up next. We do want to get your talkbacks in, so text us your power rankings. Talk back us if you want to thank a veteran in your life. We'd love to hear it. Open up the free iHeartRadio app. Find that little talkback microphone. Leave us up to 30 seconds thanking a veteran in your life. Take a quick break here. Power rankings coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760.
The sport is sponsored by California Secretary of State. Breaking news out of the NFL: star wide receiver and corner Travis Hunter had surgery to repair his LCL. He will be missing the rest of the season. The Eagles beat the Packers 10-7 yesterday. The total heading into the game was 45.5. Cleared the under easy. Jordan Love had a rough performance on the night. The big play of the game was a 36-yard touchdown from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. It's a fact that every California ballot is verified, counted, and secured. Accuracy comes first. When results take time, it means your vote is being counted, right? Have questions? Visit sos.ca.gov. A message from the California Secretary of State.
Oh, what a song. Well done, Sammy Long. Hey, San Diego Sports 760. We got your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to go to SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration, Twinkling Lights meeting Ocean Delights, November 14th through January 4th. You can experience the magic of the season and meet incredible animals like belugas, penguins, and sea otters. Plus, check out a winter wonderland with a million dazzling lights and all new Clyde and Seymour's Christmas. Tickets and more information at SeaWorldSanDiego.com. If you hang on for power rankings, we're going to give away those tickets coming up in about 6 minutes before we get to long shots. So stay tuned here. You're going to win some SeaWorld tickets. Love that. You ever meet any of those penguins over at SeaWorld, Sammy?
Did I meet the penguins?
Yeah. There was one at our Warrior Foundation Freedom Station broadcast last week.
Like a real life penguin?
Like a real life penguin, Pistol Pete.
I was there the entire time. I never saw a penguin.
He was up at the front. You were kind of stuffed in the back. But yeah, Pistol Pete was there. Pistol Pete has actually sat right here before on a Bar Car Friday, believe it or not. Pete the Penguin.
Did Pete the Penguin partake?
Pete the Penguin tried, man. They had to hold him back. He was looking for some booze. That little guy, he's a rascal, I tell you what. But the Penguins are awesome over at SeaWorld. Everything is awesome over at SeaWorld. 4-pack of tickets coming up in just a little bit. Now, I do want to read through ESPN's power rankings coming out of week 10. I kind of hate ESPN's power rankings, but here we go. At number 1, they have the Philadelphia Eagles. 2, Rams. 3, Colts. 4, Patriots. 5, Seahawks. 6, Lions. 7, Bills. 8, Bucks. 9, Broncos. 10, Chargers. 11, Chiefs. I usually would just go top 10, but I wanted to let everyone know where the Kansas City Chiefs are. Right behind the Chargers and the Broncos. Sammy, thoughts on ESPN's power rankings?
Well, I think the Chiefs will end up being better than those teams, but right now that's fair. They're coming off a loss to the Buffalo Bills. They were on a bye, so they didn't have anything to move up. It's fair right now because it's the top teams up to this point. So to be fair, the Chiefs have been 5-4. They're right above 500. They have looked fantastic at times, and at times they've looked like, what the hell's going on here? But I do think at the end of the day, I think that they are better than the Broncos. There's a big matchup on Sunday, and I do think they will be better than the Chargers at the end of the day.
Now, near the top of the list, I think some notable teams that are down a little bit on here are actually like the Detroit Lions being at 6. I don't know if I love that. The Colts being dropped down a few spots because of what? One loss to the Steelers. I don't know if I like that either. Sammy, I am emailing you as we speak, our little NFL horns.
I have them up.
You have them up?
Come on now. Did you think I wasn't going to have them up?
Grip it and rip it, baby. I want a 300-yard drive. Smash it. Oh, yes. All right, we'll give ours now. Sammy, if you want to get us started with number 5, you can.
Okay, I am going to go with the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions being at number 6 on ESPN, similar here, but I think the Lions are in the top 5. Listen, they beat a bad Washington team, but I give them credit. They absolutely destroyed them. Didn't love when I've heard that Dan Campbell was going to be taking over duties from John Morton, especially when he already had the number 4 offense in the NFL. But the Lions' resume up to this point, I like what they've done so far. I think they're going to be a massive threat in the NFC. So give me the Lions at number 5.
I actually went back and forth with the Lions and another team for number 5 and number 4. And I'll just tell you, Lions ended up being my number 4 team. I almost feel bad about having this team at number 5, but they got a young quarterback. The offense is really starting to hum. They finally gave the ball to a highly drafted running back. I got the New England Patriots sneaking into my top 5 this week at number 5. The only reason the Lions edge them out for number 4 is because I think the Lions have a more experience in the postseason that if they stay healthy, they can lean on a little bit more. I don't know how Drake May is going to look in the postseason, but every button Mike Vrabel's been pushing this season has seemed to be working. We saw glimpses of what Drake May could be a year ago. And he's the only quarterback from that class that has been consistently upping his game week in and week out. And Drake May all of a sudden is one of the top 7 or 8 quarterbacks in football this year. I just think the Patriots are wildly fun to watch. Vrabel has this thing cooking. When you talk about ownership, coach, quarterback, there's not too many teams in the NFL right now stronger than the New England Patriots.
Okay, I like it. And again, I want to reiterate, this is top 5 teams up until this point.
Correct.
This goes to my next pick.
My next pick is 4 Lions. A lot of the same reasons Sammy has them at 5.
Okay, Indianapolis Colts at 4. I'm giving them credit because of their record. What they're winning consistently. They're winning a lot more than a lot of teams in the NFL. I didn't love what I saw Sunday, and I know they had a comeback victory over the Atlanta Falcons. We're starting to see how you get to this team because Pittsburgh did it a week ago, and Atlanta did it. And if it wasn't for Michael Penix and the offense being absolutely inept, they're getting pressure to Daniel Jones, and you're starting to see the turnovers creep back up. He had a couple turnovers on Sunday, had a couple the week before. Like this team that was just high flying, couldn't be stopped. Running people off the field is not quite doing it. Jonathan Taylor, I feel like bailed Daniel Jones out badly on Sunday with his play. He's been phenomenal. Should be higher up in the MVP conversation. But up to this point, they've been one of the best teams in the NFL. But I'm getting a little worried about the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to see they head to Kansas City next week. If they can beat, I need to see them beat a Mahomes, an Allen, a Lamar, a Burrow when he comes back, Herbert. I guess they did beat a Herbert. But I feel like we're overhyping that Charger victory a little bit. And I think they're about to come back down to the pack a little
so
bit.
So you're at a hesitant number 4 with the Colts. I'm at a very solid number 3 with the Indianapolis Colts. I feel pretty good about that. Up to this point in this season, I think they're the 3rd best team in the NFL. And I'll tell you why. Everything you said is true, Sammy, except for the fact that Jonathan Taylor doesn't have to bail you out. Jonathan Taylor just is the offense. The Colts have built this dominant offensive line with a dominant running back who is playing the best he's ever played in his career right now. That's 2 out of the last 3 weeks, he's well over 200 rushing yards. It seems like he's scoring twice a game at least. Jonathan Taylor everything has clicked for him, and he's running behind the offensive line with some momentum. Sure, Sammy and I could gain a couple yards if we were running behind this Colts offensive line, but we wouldn't be ripping off 60-yarders. So I think the Colts have established an identity, which is something they have failed to do since Andrew Luck wasn't there. This year they have it. So Colts at number 3 with a bullet for me, confidently sitting at 3.
Okay. Number 3 for me, I'm going with the New England Patriots. What they've done to this point, think about the big victory they got in Buffalo. No one expected them to win that game. Then you go on the road to Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's dealt with a lot of injuries, but that was a great performance, especially when Drake May, bad interception with 4 minutes to go. You're going, oh, Tampa Baker, of course, come back, got the drive, only down 5 points, and the defense has been fantastic, does not get enough love. Tony Romo really highlighted on the broadcast. Start corner Christian Gonzalez is taking away half the field. He got burned by Emeka Egbuka early and was really just locked down the rest of the way. So the New England Patriots right now, they've had a good resume, a couple of really big wins over the Bucs and the Bills. I got to give them some love. Drake May playing at an MVP level. Number 2 for you, Fletch.
Number 2 is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I am high on them right now, maybe a little too high. Sam Darnold threw 12 passes and they kicked the crap out of the Arizona Cardinals. That game got closer in the second half because of a couple of kind of bizarre turnovers. But the Seattle Seahawks aren't just beating teams, they're dominating teams in every aspect of the word. They're able to win games with a dual-headed running back without even having to throw the ball. But guess what? Sam Darnold can throw the ball. And on 12 passes, he completed 10 of them. Jackson Smith and Jigba's having a huge year. Watch out for the Seahawks is all I'm going to say. All of a sudden, they look like one of the best teams in football to me. And if they can keep this pace going, and if Sam Darnold doesn't have his drop-off at the end of the season like he did a year ago, the Seahawks are firmly in the Super Bowl conversation for me as of right now.
Number 2, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, last night did not inspire a lot of confidence, but they did win at the end of the day. And I'm going to give them a little bit, like the Packers, that was embarrassing for them at home. You would have told anyone the Eagles only scored 10 points. You go, oh, great. Packers blowout on Monday Night Football. The defense, that was impressive going on the road and getting after an offense that, although I have major concerns about Jordan Love, he has been good at times. Josh Jacobs, a good running back. Christian Watson, like they have talent on that offense. They made them look bad. A lot of questions like Nick Sirianni going forward on that 4th and 6. Did not make a lot of sense. Pulling A.J. Brown out of the game late. But at the end of the day, this team is finding ways to win games. They have a couple big wins on the year to beat the Chiefs. beat the Packers. Like they are winning games, and there's something to be said for that. Although it's not pretty, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt over the Colts because they did win the Super Bowl last year. We haven't seen this before with Indianapolis.
I actually left the Eagles off my top 5. I don't see them playing inspired football. I don't think this is a year where they're going to even get back to the Super Bowl. But they'll be in the postseason, maybe as the 1 seed in the NFC. They just aren't that good to me, and they're going to get found out early in the postseason. I think we have the same number 1 team.
Los Angeles Rams.
Yes, sir.
I don't think it's even close.
I don't either. Not right now. The way they're playing, the way Matthew Stafford's throwing it, the way that defense led by Jared Verse. Jared Verse blocked a freaking field goal against the Niners, or extra point, sorry. But you look at the way that defense is playing, and it's going to be tough for anyone to score consistently on them. And the way Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, pending health, Kyron Williams, they're just putting points up like they're the greatest show on turf.
They have the perfect blend in the NFL, from what I've seen up to this point, of veteran talent with Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, and then young superstars, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Jared Verse. I mean, the defense is fantastic. Them and the Seahawks, which is why this is a really fun matchup on Sunday, have two of the most exciting young defenses in the National Football League. Sunday's matchup is going to be electric. I left the Seahawks at 6. I left them I wanted to put them above the Colts. I just didn't do it because they did win and they do have a better record. My problem with the Seahawks so far is this, and I love me some Sam Darnold. I love the team. I'm pulling for him. Look at the competition they beat the last couple weeks. It's one thing to put up 38 on the Arizona Cardinals. That was a disaster.
They were in the 40s.
Jane Daniels gets hurt in that
Final
game.
score was 44-22 against the Cardinals.
I know. But I mean, we have to give to who they've beaten. Like, it's hard for me to put them above the Eagles.
I get what you're saying.
Even though the Eagles didn't look good, they did go on the road and beat Green Bay. It's one thing to destroy the Arizona Cardinals at home with no Kyler Murray.
Isn't it Seahawks Rams this weekend?
Yeah.
You're going to have them higher next week. I have a feeling. Even if in a loss against the Rams, the Seahawks might look really, really good. So
the problem is the best quarterback they've beaten so far this year is like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels for a half and a quarter.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
And that's not a shot. Again, I'm a massive Sam Darnold fan. I think they're going to be really good.
The Seahawks are kind of built, in my mind, the same exact way the Rams are built. They're just a couple years behind.
Yeah, it's funny. Both our lists, like the AFC, every team has questions.
Yeah.
Like
you can't even make the argument for the Bills or the Chiefs right now to be in the top 5.
No. I mean, the Bills just got blown out by Miami. The Chiefs just lost to the Bills, and they're on a bye week. The Chargers and Broncos. The Broncos, I'm sorry. It's one thing to put up 10 points and beat the Packers on the road. You're at home and put up 10 points against the Raiders. I can't put you there. Chargers had a big win Sunday night against Pittsburgh, but again, I think the offensive line issues is really going to come back to bite them in the future.
619 says Rams, Eagles, Lions, Seahawks, Chargers. I like that list. Maybe not the end of it. I don't know if the Chargers belong on it as of right now. All right. 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego coming up right now. 877-767-4760. You can buy tickets at SeaWorldSanDiego.com. You could win them just by giving Sammy Long a call. Sammy, what number you want to go with today?
Suit number 6.
Call number 6. You're going to SeaWorld San Diego with a 4-pack of tickets. 877-767-4760. We got long shots coming up next at San Diego Sports 760. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper and Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. You could give Gary a call today at 858-376-1299. If you want to talk some mortgages, buying a home, selling a home, anything you want to talk about with Gary, that's where you need to go. But Gary, what's on your mind today here on a Veterans Day?
Hey, well, I tell you what, rather than talk about mortgage and real estate like we do all the time, how about I just want to simply thank all of our veterans. I sincerely appreciate their service, men, women, and all. My dad was a World War II paratrooper. He was in the 11th Airborne, and he certainly shared his stories with me. And, you know, I'm kind of a history buff when it comes to World War II, some of the Vietnam. But I just simply want to say thank you to all the veterans. Simple as that.
It's the right way to do it here on a Veterans Day. Thank you, Gary Cooper. Thank you to all our military men and women who have served this country, past, future, or present. We appreciate the hell out of you and everything you've done for us. Give Gary Cooper a call today, 858-376-1299. Give him a call today, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. A day to remember those we've lost, a day to celebrate those who are still around protecting this country. We appreciate every single one of you, especially here in San Diego, with such strong ties to the military here, especially today on a Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. We really do appreciate you. You just heard Gary Cooper passing along that same message as well. If you want to give Gary Cooper a call today, hell, you can talk Veterans Day with him as well. 858-376-1299 for any mortgage or realty needs. Call Gary Cooper. All right, we're going to get to long shots in just a second. I did want to read one of these comments we got on YouTube and let Sammy finish up making his lineup from our buddy Jay Silves on YouTube saying Aztecs -2.5 against Boise State this weekend after that collapse/fluke in Hawaii. I'd like to see the Techs clean up the dumb penalties and start completing some passes. Defense is going to bounce back. I know it. All right, Jay Silva, thank you for the comment there. Here's the thing with San Diego State against Hawaii. I don't know if it came across on TV, but I'm going to make an excuse for him. It was pouring rain the entire game, and that was not expected in Hawaii that night. Also, Chris Johnson, who's been the #1 cornerback in the country all season long in college football, missed the game. And you could tell immediately once Hawaii figured out that Chris Johnson was not in the game, they started peppering the left side of the field. I agree with you. I do think the defense is going to bounce back. There was news that came out yesterday that Maddox Madsen, who's the quarterback at Boise State, who got injured their last time out against Fresno State in a loss, is expected not to play coming up on Saturday. So potentially a backup quarterback. Boise is coming off a bye, but Maddox Madsen, at least according to what I read yesterday, not expected to play this weekend. San Diego State -2.5 feels about right to me. We'll see if they can get back on track. Hopefully Chris Johnson is back as well. Sammy, you feel good about long shots today?
I do feel good. We got some good NBA tonight that I feel like is going to hit for us.
Did we get close last night? I don't think I checked.
DeAndre Ayton unfortunately sold us for the Lakers. Christian Watson, I believe he hit, and I stopped checking after DeAndre Ayton. The Lakers got up in the game, so they actually took him out, and then there was a little bit of a scare there. He was on pace to hit it, but the Lakers were blowing him out, so he sat down.
What a bummer, dude. All right, well, let's get to long shots today. Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
By the way, I was looking at our season-long long shots we got going on. It's actually not looking that bad.
Our season-long NBA or NFL?
NBA. NFL, too. NFL has a real shot. We need Marvin Harrison Jr. Jerry Jeudy finally got a touchdown. We need Marvin Harrison Jr. to get a couple more and Ashton JT to get a couple more. And we need Jaden Daniels not to be on the bench.
Yeah, be better.
stop getting injured, dude. Just get out there and throw the freaking football.
For all of us, okay?
But NBA, we just need Giannis to slow down a little bit. He's scoring too many points, and then we might be okay there too.
Maybe if Giannis gets traded halfway through the year, he'll be having to share the ball more, and that number will come down.
That'd be ideal. All right, where are we going tonight, Sammy?
All right, we're starting with got a lot of good NBA action tonight. Knicks, Memphis. So a lot kind of surrounding this game. John Morant, there's rumors that apparently the Timberwolves are checking in on him to pair him with Anthony Edwards. Now, that would be a hell of a backcourt between him and John Morant and Anthony Edwards.
It'd be the sassiest backcourt in NBA history, I would say.
As long as they're on the court. But we're going to go the other side here. The New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson, more than 26.5 points. This Grizzlies team has really struggled with defense so far. John Morant has not been locked in recently. He's been talking about how he's lost his love for the game because of the fact that he's on the trade block, kind of wanting out of Memphis. The relationship is not good right now between those two. He's going to be guarding Jalen Brunson tonight. I think more than 26.5 points. The Knicks are going to rein this thing in from the outside because Jaren Jackson Jr., multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year, is hunting down low. So Jalen Brunson, more than 26.5 points. I think he has a big night tonight. All right, Philly, Boston, Kelly Oubre, more than 15.5 points. This Boston team is Jaylen Brown by himself. But Jaylen Brown, Anthony Simons, the usual suspects are not there anymore. Jason Tatum is hurt right now. They traded Drew Holiday, traded Kristaps Porzingis. They don't have anyone to guard Kelly Oubre. And Kelly Oubre has been a fantastic breakout player this year. Or not breakout player. He's been a good player in the league for a while now. But he's really kind of starting to achieve his potential when he was a super high draft pick out of Kansas. More than 15.5 points. They don't have anyone to guard him. Jaylen Brown's going to be running around, best defensive player on the team with Tyrese Maxey. And then it's going to be the rookie sensation, VJ Edgecombe. That's going to leave Kelly Oubre to get his tonight, more than 15.5 points. OKC, Golden State, fun one. Oklahoma City got a big one tomorrow against the Lake Show. So a little bit of a back-to-back West doubleheader with Golden State and the Lakers. We're going to go Jimmy Butler, more than 17.5 points. He's going to be crucial in this game. Even more crucial than Steph, because Steph's going to get his number set at 24.5. But this team has such good perimeter defenders between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins. I mean, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort. They have so many guys to go at the perimeter. Jimmy Butler tonight is going to be crucial. They have to have someone break down this defense and allow them to play a little inside-out basketball. Get it to Curry, get it to Podziemski, and Buddy Hield on the outside to rain in some threes. I think this is a big Jimmy Butler night. More than 17.5 points. I think he's going to blow past this and have a big one. So to recap, Jalen Brunson, more than 26.5 points against Memphis, not playing a lot of defense there. Kelly Oubre, more than 15.5 points. Boston has no one to guard him. They're going to be dealing with Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe the whole time. Jimmy Butler, more than 17.5 points. Could catch OKC looking to that showdown, the top two in the West tomorrow against the Lakers.
Got Gonzaga Creighton tonight too. This is a fun night of basketball.
Yeah, we got some good college basketball, good NBA. We got
Duke
college football
Army.
playoff rankings dropping tonight.
Is it going to be during the Gonzaga Creighton game? Probably.
I believe, yeah, because they do that. They do the Gonzaga Creighton game. I forget what the night game is in college basketball. They always do it in between while they're transitioning.
This is a fun night of college basketball. I'd flip it on if you can. You got Florida, FSU. Oh, this is fun, man. All right. It's San Diego Sports 760. Alan Slewa is going to be joining us coming up in hour number 2. We'll talk some Lakers with him, also about that Nico Harrison firing if you missed it. The Dallas Mavericks let him take the booze and the jabs from the Dallas Mavericks fan base for an entire offseason about trading Luka Doncic, and then waited 11 games into this season and got him out of town. We'll talk with Alan Slewa about that, as well as Lakers hoops. That's all coming up in hour number 2. That's next. It's San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Star wide receiver and corner for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter, is out for the season after getting surgery to repair his LCL. And the college football playoff rankings drop tonight. The second one this season, Ohio State is expected to be number 1 overall, followed by either Indiana or Texas A&M. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
We've reached high noon. Time for the Fletch Zone.
No fluff, just facts.
Some Monday Night Madness.
Hurts, fakes, looks, steps up. He is floating the football. It is the Devontae Smith. Touchdown!
The Aztecs trying to find answers after the weekend in Hawaii.
And more reaction after the Padres introduce their new manager.
Now, live from the San Diego Sports 760 studios, we enter the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, let's get into it here in hour number 2. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock here today. John and Jim will take over then. I did want to actually bring up some other reaction from the Padres hiring Craig Stammen to be their next manager. The GM meetings are going on right now out in Las Vegas, and any news we get from that, we will hand your way. I did just want to point out Jeff Passan has written his offseason article about what every team in Major League Baseball needs to do this offseason. And even Jeff Passan is expecting the Padres to be very limited. His opening line actually is San Diego remains in financial limbo, limiting its options. The obvious area needs, however, is the rotation, with Dylan Cease and Michael King both becoming free agents and Yu Darvish missing all the 2026 season after dealing with the surgery. Jeff Passan says the Padres need to sign free agent right-hander Cody Ponce. Sammy, have you ever heard of Cody Ponce? It's okay if you haven't.
I'm familiar with the name, but not.
He hasn't been in Major League Baseball since 2021. He's actually been playing in the Korean baseball organization.
Oh, that's awesome.
After having 1 year with the Pittsburgh Pirates where he was a little bit forgettable. But Cody Ponce is who Jeff Passan is saying the Padres need to go out and get from the KBO to come back and pitch for the Padres.
Listen, I know the Padres can't spend what the Dodgers have, and the Dodgers have one of the greatest rotations ever put together in the history. I mean, they have Tyler Glasnow is their 4th starter, and he would be an ace or a number 2 pitcher on most teams.
You know what he says the Dodgers should do is go get Edwin Diaz.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Dodgers, why not? I mean, why not? You need a closer. The bullpen's been a disaster, so why wouldn't you? You cannot. I mean, look at the World Series. The Dodgers down 3-2. It's looking like Toronto's going to win the whole thing. But this is what happens when you have elite starting pitching above everything else. Take the bats aside. The Dodgers had a terrible bullpen. And the bullpen all season long was not in the top 15. I mean, it was a bad bullpen, not just playoff bad, a bad bullpen. When you have an ace going every game, you feel like you have a shot to win. That's why the Padres this season. Now, there's a multitude of problems. I mean, the bats were a disaster, but you felt like it's like the bullpen being great is awesome in theory, but you also have to get a lead for that to matter. It's kind of like Micah Parsons going to the Packers. It's like, yeah, you want a closer in Micah Parsons and you have a great defense. We have to get a lead first for Micah Parsons to be relevant in the game to go get the quarterback. It just feels like, listen, if they're not going to spend money, it's hard to get excited about what this team could do, especially when you feel like they've knocked on the door of some really big breakthroughs the last few years and they just won't put any money towards it.
It is. And can AJ Preller strike gold once again on another starting piece? He's done it a lot over the last few years, which is actually where I give him the most credit as a general manager. But you think about the year where Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo both came into the Padres and were fantastic. You think about last year with Nick Pivetta coming over to the Padres, and he really was the anchor of the starting rotation all year long. But he's going to have to do it again. And eventually, these are gambles. And Sammy and I know eventually it doesn't work out when you're gambling. But Ponce from the KBO, sure, why not? It's not exactly like that's the name you want to see if you're a Padres fan right now, especially when within the same article, and this article is hypothesis. It doesn't mean anything. outside of the fact that that's where the expectations are for the Padres right now, is for them not to be spending, for them to be limited in spending. And you scroll up a little bit and you see all the big name moves that teams like the Blue Jays have a potential to make this year, that teams like the Dodgers have the potential to make this year. And I think you just don't feel like the Padres are even in the same discussion.
Well, you're also going to put Craig Stammen in a rough spot early because you have Nick Pivetta. You're putting a lot of pressure on Joe Musgrove coming back from injury to be the guy he once was.
Forgetting about Randy Vasquez, Sammy.
Randy Vasquez. But
Wandy Peralta.
Mason Miller, that's the big question. Does he become a starter? Now, people go flip. So a lot of people are like, he's the best closer in the game. Why would you mess around with that? A lot of people go, you trade your whole farm system for him. He needs to be pitching, have more impact on the game than just a closer. He needs to be a starting pitcher. Can he throw that hard? Is he going to risk injury? He had at times when he's been a starting pitcher, he hasn't been the same Mason Miller because he's not coming in and just throwing gas. You're putting a tough decision on Craig Stammen right away. This coaching staff's going to have to figure out unless they pull off a move and get somebody. But all indications per Jeff Passan is that's not likely to happen.
It's hard to have that conversation about what's more valuable to a team, a starting pitcher or a closer. I could kind of make the argument both ways. And I feel like with Mason Miller, he has more value to you as a closer.
I think so too.
Only if you feel confident in the fact that you can get the game to the ninth inning.
Well, that's if you have a competent starting rotation.
Yeah.
And you're like, listen, it could be better. You could have this guy come down, but we want to have a star closer. But if the starting rotation is going to be Nick Pivetta and Joe Musgrove and a bunch of we're going to throw this guy out there and cross our fingers, then you start having that conversation. I'm not saying either way. It's just it's a tough spot to put Craig Stammen in immediately as the new manager of the Padres.
Yeah, when you sit down, you map out this season, is Randy Vasquez going to be able to make 20 starts for you? Is Joe Musgrove going to be able to make 20 starts for you? These are the questions you have to start asking. And they're not fun questions to answer.
And you want to keep Joe Musgrove's pitch count down because he's coming off an injury. So it's not like the only guy you look at in the rotation that you're like, yes, Pivetta.
And he was supposed to be a number 4 when he got to San Diego. All right, all that aside, let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. We do have some Aztecs football tickets to give away. They're playing against Boise State this weekend. One of the bigger games in college football this weekend could determine the outcome of the Mountain West and who's going to be hosting the championship game. Let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. We'll give away those tickets coming up very, very soon. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here.
Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
Coworkers.
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Got some good news here, Sammy. If you wouldn't mind, I'm going to hijack the first little bit of the big 3. My wife has made it home from New York. She is back in our house, and I have not yet gotten a text that says I completely ruined the house.
Well, what if she's just waiting for you to get home?
Oof. I think I'm in the clear, Sammy. My wife is not one to wait. She would jump on it right away if there was something seriously wrong.
I'm sure she's listening right now, so
I highly doubt that. She could not care less about what it's like. When are you home from work? Can you bring me food? That is what my wife is thinking right now.
So Bill Belichick, Giants just fired Brian Daboll, said he's focused on Wake Forest with North Carolina, not worried about the Giants head coaching opening. Should the Giants be interested in Bill Belichick for the head coaching job?
I don't think so. Look at Pete Carroll with the Las Vegas Raiders. Has that worked out swimmingly well? Look, Bill Belichick, his legacy is what his legacy is, and he will always be one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history, if not the greatest, depending on who you talk to. Doesn't it kind of feel like the game has moved past him? It felt like that at the end of his time in New England. It certainly feels like that with him now in college football. I think that there's a lot better options for the Giants out there. I was actually following a couple of different Twitter threads earlier today about some names out there of potential coaches that could come over to the Giants. And every single name that popped up is a young offensive-minded head coach to pair with your young offensive superstars in Jackson Dart, Cam Scatteraboo, and Malik Neighbors. Like, the Giants have something exciting. You need someone to come in and foster that, not someone who's going to come in and implement the Patriot way, the good old-fashioned Patriot. No, I don't think Bill Belichick should even be brought up.
I agree with you. I think Bill Belichick, this is a guy who, amazing head coach. You want to say he's the greatest ever, can't really argue with it. But no, a team that has Jackson Dart, a young budding superstar, Cam Scatteraboo, Malik Neighbors, this is a youth movement. It's supposed to be fun in New York. They brought New York football back. It's like first time watching a Giants game has been tolerable in years. Bringing in grumpy, grouchy old Bill Belichick to handle this, he's not going to work with Jackson Dart. and can't like that's not. They're completely different generations.
Maybe his girlfriend could.
Yes. Well, I'm sure Jackson Dart would be interested in her.
I feel bad about saying that. I'm not even mad about Bill Belichick for dating Jordan Hudson. I think that's cool as hell, man. You do you. I wish at 74 years old, if I'm doing that, game on.
I thought you were married.
I am. Good catch, Sammy.
Thankfully, Kendall doesn't listen to the show, right?
What's next?
We're in the college football playoffs second reveal. What are you watching for tonight? What is your biggest storyline heading into the second reveal of the college football playoff?
Well, okay, I would say to get a group of 5 team in there. However, everyone who should be lost last week. Memphis lost last week.
Memphis lost a heartbreaker.
Yeah, they were number 22 in the country. San Diego State had whatever that was that we watched in Hawaii. So I don't know that there is a team right now out of the group of 5 that you can confidently put in there. One of the biggest storylines is Ohio State going to be number 1 or is Indiana going to be number 1? I don't really know. At this point, we're still too far out for us to get really intense about anything with the college football playoff. Do you have something you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm curious to see if A&M moves up because A&M has had one of the best resumes in the country so far. Road win at Missouri, SEC team. Road win in Notre Dame. And Ohio State has deservedly so been the number 1 team in the country. But are we over-evaluating them a little bit in terms of they got there because they whooped up on Texas? Now, Texas should be in the top 12 tonight. They got some big games coming up, so it's kind of going to even itself out. But I'm curious if A&M moves up because A&M does look like kind of the one team that could give Ohio State, Indiana a run for their money. Indiana almost loses to Penn State. That was a wild game over the weekend. Oregon barely squeaks by Iowa. It just feels like Ohio State on paper is the best team in the country, and it doesn't look close. But I do feel like Texas A&M could give them a game, and I'm curious, kind of the bottom of the bracket, do 2-loss Big Ten teams that have better resumes be ahead of teams that are 1-loss but do not have the same kind of conference and level of strength of schedule they're playing?
I can honestly say I'm more looking forward to the 2 college basketball games that will be bookending the college football playoff rankings than the college football playoff rankings because you got 2 good ones tonight. Number 9, Kentucky going to number 12, Louisville, and then number 23, Creighton going to number 19, Gonzaga. That's what I'm more fascinated in is those 2 games than what's going to be smushed in the middle, which is the unveiling of the new college football playoff rankings for something that won't take place for another 5 weeks. You know, one more?
Yeah, I love college football playoff. I think it's fun every week. See what happens. Burrow, Eyes Thanksgiving return. Is this the right move for the Bengals?
If it's the right move for Joe Burrow in his mind, then the answer is yes. If Joe Burrow wants to get back out there, look, it is an AFC North that I feel like the door is still open in. If the Bengals can sort of try to get a couple wins here over the next couple of weeks and set that up nicely for him, then yes, it's the right move. Look, imagine Joe Burrow coming into your stadium on the road in the postseason as a low seed. Is that someone you want to see? Because my answer would be hell no.
With the defense they have, sure.
You're going to have to score 45 points on that defense. Are you all right with that? I don't think the answer to that question is yes. I think automatically if Joe Burrow is coming into your place in the postseason, I'm not saying the Bengals are going to win a game in the postseason, but I am saying that adds an extra level of fear to you. So the Bengals still have a shot here if Joe Burrow is their quarterback. And so, yeah, it's the right move.
Look at this schedule they have.
On Thanksgiving, do they play the Ravens?
Yes.
How much fun is that? If it's Ravens with Lamar Jackson healthy?
From a viewership perspective, it'd be fun. But let's look at the standings. They're 3-6 right now. If they beat Pittsburgh on the road, then it changes everything because then you have a win against Pittsburgh and you're back in this thing. But then they have the Patriots. They probably lose to Pittsburgh. They're probably losing to the Patriots. Then you have the Ravens. Then you have the Bills. Then you have the Ravens again. Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. So you have a nice little 3 stretch there at the end. But I think they're going to be too far out of contention for this thing. Like, the problem is this. Obviously, Joe Burrow is better than Joe Flacco. They score points with Joe Flacco. Like, it's not like they're losing games because it's 17-16 and the offense is anemic. The offense is going through the roof. Now, obviously, they're going to be better with Joe Burrow, but this defense is so bad. The offensive line is so bad. I think at some point you got to worry about Joe Burrow's health. Like, this guy, until you get an offensive line that it can support him, he has been hurt in college. He got hurt his first year in the NFL. He's hurt now. He got hurt a couple of years ago. I mean, this has been a trending thing with Joe Burrow is that he's injury prone. It's not entirely his fault because the offensive line that he's had to deal with has been god awful. The Bengals are going to bring him back because they need to sell tickets, but I would be very careful if I'm the Cincinnati Bengals organization.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody listening today. We know a lot of you have the day off, but if you don't and you're grinding with us, we appreciate you being here. We really do. With that being said, coming up next, you are going to win a pair of tickets to go see San Diego State taking on Boise State this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. Alan Sleewalk coming up at 1:30. Plenty to go here on a Tuesday. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Dang, dude. Pixar just released the new trailer for Toy Story 5, which apparently they're still making. Guess what?
Are you a big Toy Story guy?
I love Toy Story movies. I think they're fantastic. Dude, every single one of them is perfect. Toy Story 5, the bad guy, the iPad. because
I couldn't tell you anything. I like what Woody and Buzz, right?
Oh, Sammy, you're way too cool for it. Yeah,
No, it's just when I was like 5, I was like stoked, you know.
I can't believe you, man. So you got to rip up the cool card every once in a while and just
if I'm talking about an animated movie, it would not be Toy Story. It would not be my favorite.
Good quality stuff is good quality stuff. The bad guy is the iPad. So all of a sudden toys are meaningless in this new era and all kids care about is the screen, the digital, right? And so all the toys are going to have to fight back.
So it's a little commentary on us as a society.
I think so. I think it's genius. I like what they're doing. That's fun stuff. Good work, Pixar. You've never failed me before. I doubt you're going to fail me now. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. When you look at what happened on Monday Night Football last week, speaking of Disney, which owns ESPN, I was not a fan of that game. And those two teams, I think, showed a lot about who they are in last night's game. Because when you think about a playoff scenario, it's going to be cold outside. It's going to be rough conditions for teams to play in. And neither of those teams had an offense that could move an inch. And I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, this was an excellent defensive game. It really wasn't. It was a bad offensive game. Because guess what? We watch around the NFL every single week. There's good defenses all over the place, and good offenses win those battles. Last night looked like two quarterbacks who have struggled and were struggling last night. And if I'm going to talk about either of these teams as serious Super Bowl contenders, I'm going to remove myself from the conversation because I don't think either of them are at this point.
I think for sure the Packers aren't.
No, they're not.
The Packers, they thought they were one piece away with Micah Parsons. And listen, he's a great player, so it's a big help for their defense. Their defense has been phenomenal.
God, was Steve Hartman right about this too? That Micah Parsons is the most overrated player in the NFL.
But I don't think this is about Micah Parsons being bad. I think this is about everyone has tried to do ever since the Chiefs traded away Tyreek Hill and went with a kind of communal receiver group. Every team has tried to replicate it. The Bills have tried to replicate it. The Ravens have tried to replicate it. The Packers certainly are trying to replicate it. And I think it works when you have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. But Jordan Love is not one of those guys. He's not in a top 5 quarterback conversation. I don't think he's in a top 10 quarterback conversation. So you have a lot of good receivers, a lot of Christian Watsons, Romeo Doubs, like guys that can play. They're good, but where's your number one star? You lose Tucker Kraft the week before, and the offense is anemic. I think Philly's got a lot of problems in terms of it's surprising how bad and dysfunctional the offense is at times, because you look at the weapons. I mean, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Goddard, like there's stars everywhere. Really good offensive line. It just feels like they don't have an identity. I mean, even like Nick Sirianni at the end of the game, going for on the 4th and 6, throwing a bomb to AJ Brown. You run it a few times in a row to burn clock, and then you decide on 4th and 6 you're just going to rip it down the field. Like that couldn't have been a 2nd down call or a 3rd down call. It just feels like Nick Sirianni, this team wins in spite of him. And I do think the talent of the Eagles, they're still a tough out because you got to go to Philly. I don't see the Packers. I think the Packers are a first-round exit.
I was incredibly underwhelmed by the Green Bay Packers last night. And in turn, I'm also underwhelmed by the Philadelphia Eagles, because the fact that the Packers had a chance to tie that game as late as they did in this one, Eagles should have stomped this one out long before. The Packers had historically low yardages in the first half. That was a historically low scoring game. It had been 2 years since there wasn't a score in the first half of a football game. So I don't know what we learned last night, but what I learned is that the Packers probably can leave my Super Bowl conversation. The Eagles are just on the verge of leaving that one.
The Eagles get benefit of the doubt from last year because they have this.
How much longer do we give them that though?
It's fair, but I still think the record speaks for itself, because if they fall to a wild card and they're going through LA or Seattle or somewhere like this, then I hear it more.
For sure.
But if it runs through Philly, I mean, they're going to be favored against every team except the Rams or maybe the Lions.
You see what happened 2 more times last night?
False starts on the tush push.
Obvious false starts on the tush push and not getting called, and it will not get called this year, and it does not make sense to me.
Right? It's like if the NFL refs are saying they can't ref it, then don't give me this BS of it's a play. Stop it. If they can't ref it right, then it needs to be gone.
Well, it's the biggest argument for robo-umps in baseball. We have the box on the screen. We can see when you're missing balls and strikes. Right. And if the umpires are missing it at a high enough clip, eventually it's going to win out. And guess what? Next year we have the ABS system coming to baseball. Well, in the NFL, we get the sideline shot. We can see after the play when they're going to be jumping off sides, and they're jumping off sides every single time they run that tush push. So it feels like it needs to be gone, or they need to start throwing the flag on it almost every single time. And if you do that, then guess what? The effectiveness is going to drop way down for the Philadelphia
Stop
Eagles.
running it. You see, they're only running it at 75% clip this year. Their success rate. The Eagles are not having the success rate they've had in years past with it.
Probably because they're having to wait an extra second and they're still jumping off sides with it. It is wild to me. All right. We got a pair of tickets for you to go see San Diego State take on Boise State this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. If you want to win those tickets, call right now. 877-767-4760. Sammy, what number do you want to go with?
Let's go number 8.
Number 8, you're going to see San Diego State, Boise State this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. GoAztecs.com for tickets. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760. Alan Sleewa's coming up next to talk some NBA live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Star wide receiver and corner Travis Hunter has underwent surgery for his LCL. He will be missing the remainder of the season, with the Jags currently at 5-4, coming off that loss to the Houston Texans. And the Lakers going to be back tomorrow night taking on Oklahoma City, a must-see matchup of the top 2 seeds in the Western Conference. Progressive Insurance makes the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
San Diego Sports 760 here on a Tuesday on a Veterans Day. Thank you to everybody who's ever served this country in the military. We appreciate you and everything you've done for us. We're going to bring on Alan Sleewa to the show. You can follow him on YouTube at Alan Sleewa on YouTube. Hoops Talk with Alan Sleewa is the name of the channel. Alan, how's you doing, man? It's been a while.
What's going on, Fletch? Thank you for having me on, buddy. Things are good. Just enjoying a good time of the sports here, and certainly enjoying the start of the NBA season.
Yeah, the start of the NBA season has been a lot of fun. College basketball is really starting to get going. We got some awesome games coming up tonight. But your latest video you have up, Alan, is on Nico Harrison getting fired from the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like there has to be something we don't know here, because it feels like he doesn't make that Luka deal without ownership being heavily involved. In fact, unless ownership is almost making that decision, and then for him to get fired 11 games into the new season, what's your take on what's happening in Dallas? And was Nico Harrison scapegoated a little bit here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I listen, at the end of the day, it always starts at the top. So I don't care what Nico Harrison did. Somebody's got to approve that. But just obviously the concept and the fact that they wanted to trade Luka Doncic, that there was interest to trade him. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, if I'd have told you in February, then when it was February 2nd, I think, when the trade went down, that 11 months later, Nico Harrison was going to get fired, would that sound like a shock? I don't think it would. I think people would say, yeah, it is the dumbest trade we've ever seen. Yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah, the Lakers, I mean, technically, if we want to be frank here, what was the Lakers' future without this Nico Harrison, Luka Doncic gift to this organization? Listen, conspiracy theory, I don't know. Malpractice and just unbelievably horrible decisions for a franchise in a city like Dallas. It probably falls more along the lines of that. And it will never make sense how the Lakers got gifted Luka.
Lakers taking on Oklahoma City tomorrow night, 8-3 to start the season without LeBron James. Reeves and Luka have been in and out of the lineup. What's impressed you the most so far with this team this early in the year?
I think, you know, maybe it's not the thing that stands out the most or the most the shiny object when you think of the Lakers, but the role players. I think I know what Luka's going to do on a night in, night out basis. Reeves has been great to start the season, but they're not 8-3 without Rui having moments, without Jake LaRavia having moments, without DeAndre Ayton having moments, Marcus Smart, go down the list. You could mention Nick Smith Jr. in a couple of those Laker wins as well. So I think for me, it's the role players have been dependable. They've had so many different guys in and out of the lineup. Obviously, the superstars, LeBron has yet to play a game. Reeves has missed a handful of games, as has Luka. So I think just looking at some of the other players where we weren't really sure what they were going to bring to the table, that I think is the main reason why the Lakers have got off to such a good start.
Hoops Talk with Alan Sleewa. Find him on YouTube. Alan putting up content pretty much every single day there. Alan, there's this narrative from some people, Steve Hartman, that LeBron James actually might not fit in super well with the Lakers when he comes back, when he's healthy enough to get ready. In fact, Steve has gone as far to say he doesn't think LeBron will come back to play with the Lakers. You're more tied into this organization than just about anyone, Alan. How do you see LeBron fitting back in now that the Lakers are starting to set this culture almost without him?
Yeah, I wish people, you know, had they could give me examples of why he's not going to fit in. Because if you'd have told me last year when Luka got traded to the Lakers and a lot of conversation was, hey, those are two ball dominant players. It's not going to work. Who's going to need the ball? Is LeBron going to allow another star to come in and potentially grab the keys from the organization? He already did it. I mean, LeBron, literally, we already have an example of how LeBron decided to change his game. And this is also one of the reasons why he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He could put on different hats every single night. We've already watched LeBron adjust. We've already watched Luka as the head of the snake for the Lakers. And I don't think anything's different's going to happen once LeBron comes back. The only difference might be is LeBron may look at the team and say, wow, there's a lot of good pieces here. Luka's averaging 37, 9, and 9 a game. Reeves is doing what he's doing. I got no issues when LeBron comes back. And I don't think there's been a time in LeBron's career where he's been on the basketball floor and it's hurt the team. So anybody that kind of has a different angle on that, I'm open to listening to. I just don't see the argument that LeBron's going to hurt the Lakers.
Alan, there was a lot of speculation in the offseason. Should the Lakers trade Austin Reeves? Should they sign him? He's heading into his final year of free agency. He's been fantastic so far. Are you at give him a potential max contract, or are you still see what the market offers?
I think the beauty is that the beauty of the position Lakers are in, I think there's a couple things that might work in their favor. Austin Reeves keeps telling everyone he wants to be a Laker and he wants to be a Laker long term. There are going to be teams out there that may want to offer maybe an amount that just doesn't make sense, or maybe for that organization, they just have a ton of cap space. So they're saying, hey, let's try to make some noise. Let's go get an Austin Reeves. Most of those teams are not competitive. They're not good. And if there's one thing that I think you can watch Austin Reeves on a night in, night out basis, the guy cares about winning. He cares about competing. I think he does not only want to be a Laker, I think there's a world that exists where the Lakers can take care of Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves can also kind of take care of the Lakers. There's a little bit of, he came up through the system together. The Lakers gave him an opportunity. I see a solution between both sides where Austin Reeves gets exactly what he's looking for. Lakers get exactly what they're looking for, and it will be a marriage that makes sense. Could he get overpaid? Sure, he may get overpaid, but in today's NBA, there's plenty of players that are overpaid, and I think Austin Reeves is certainly showed the value that he can bring on a night in, night out basis.
Alan, I think Alan Sleewa joining us, by the way, Hoops Talk with Alan Sleewa on YouTube. Alan, I think a lot of NBA fans are just waiting for which domino is going to fall first and when that's going to happen between the Ja Morant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where do you see those two guys going? And do you think Giannis stays in the East or maybe he comes over to the West?
Yeah, I think the Ja Morant one, both sides it's such a different scenario. For Ja Morant, let's look at just his last couple of years. He hasn't served himself very well. I think he's unfortunately brought his value down in the league. Man, I used to love watching Ja Morant, and now it's like, unfortunately, there's too many side stories. Maybe he's upset at the coaching staff, hasn't shown good leadership qualities. So the Ja Morant piece for me, that one I wouldn't be. That one I'd keep a closer eye on. The Giannis piece of it, look, I think Giannis, there's probably a better chance he plays out the rest of the season in Milwaukee. And then it's just going to come down to what does Giannis want? Because Giannis can force his way out of Milwaukee, and Giannis can also force his way to a specific franchise. I mean, he's talked about the big markets before. Does he try to force his way to a New York? Does he try to force his way to LA and try to play with Luka and the Lakers? But it just seems like the start that they've got off to, I can see someone like Giannis playing out this season. But if you ask me, is Giannis a Milwaukee Buck in 2 years? I would say no, I don't think he is.
Alan, what team, taking a kind of wider look at the NBA, has impressed you the most so far that you're keeping your eye on?
Well, I think if you're looking at the Eastern Conference, the Pistons, I want to say now are 9-2, led behind Cade Cunningham, but I'm pretty sure not a lot of us are watching Pistons basketball in Southern California, but that's been impressive to see what they've done. In the Western Conference, I think it's kind of chalk right now. I mean, I would say the Lakers are on that list to be 8-3 at this point, but I think nobody's really surprised about OKC or Denver. San Antonio, without having De'Aaron Fox for for probably now, I'm trying to think of their record off the top of my head, but I know they got 2 losses, maybe 7-2, 8-2, whatever their record is. De'Aaron Fox just made his debut a couple days ago. So for them to have the amount of success that they've already had without De'Aaron Fox, which is obviously a key player for that team and that franchise to be kind of the quarterback. He's a clutch player. I'd say San Antonio in the West for me, and the Pistons in the East as far as what they've been able to do.
All right, Alan, where are the Lakers at their weakest? Because I think they've started here and you think, okay, this team is absolutely going to have a shot, especially when LeBron gets back to make a serious run in the West. Where do the Lakers need to go at the trade deadline in the open market to try to get somebody to bring in and help this team out?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you're going to have guys that can play both sides of the ball. And I think right now there's a little bit too much of players that are really good on one side of the floor. Luka and Austin Reeves are going to be known for facilitating and getting buckets. Jared Vanderbilt's going to be known for playing defense. I just think that they got too many players. Marcus Smart's a nice addition because he can do both. Not at an elite level offensively, but he'll give you enough where you got to respect him offensively. My concern with the Lakers is I think they could use a little bit more size, and I think they need just a two-way player that is got the ability. Game is close. A 6'7", 6'8", great size. And I know I'm kind of in a certain way describing LeBron. The problem with LeBron is he is 40. He'll be 41. But they need another player that can do a little bit more rather than just too many guys that I think are focused on one side of the ball.
Alan, what are your thoughts? I don't know if you got to see the Craig Stammen introductory press conference. What are your thoughts on the Padres hiring him?
Yeah, it's shocking, surprised. I think with this team and the amount of some of the success that they've had, obviously the recent success they've had, how they're so dependent on trying to win right now. They're in a win now window just because of some of their superstars, the age that they're at, some of the money that's already been distributed, the contracts that the Padres have for years to come. So I was surprised. I thought if you're going to bring in a new manager, obviously Mike Shildt deciding to retire from the Padres was stunning. I hated to see it. I was a Shildt fan, and whether you loved every aspect of how he managed or not, go look at the results. They're in the playoffs last couple of years. Obviously, you give a lot of credit to Mike Shildt. I don't know what to expect. I would just say if I'm looking on paper, I would want a manager that has more experience, but let's give Preller an opportunity. Let's give ownership an opportunity. If this is the direction they felt like the franchise needs to go, I want to give them that opportunity because I think they deserve that opportunity. And it's been a nice run for the Padres. Obviously, there's been plenty of disappointment in the runs as well. But hopefully they can build off of what they have and get more out of their stars. And if that takes this specific manager to get more out of their stars, that's the only way that they're really going to have the postseason success that all of San Diego is looking for.
Hoops Talk with Alan Slewa. He's one of the best doing it, man. It's a fun YouTube page. Go check it out. Alan does some little shadow boxing for you every once in a while too. Thank you, Alan. You're the best, man.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, brother. Alan Slewa, Hoops Talk with Alan Slewa on YouTube. Go check him out there. Give him a subscription. We are going to close this thing out coming up next. We're going to congratulate some people and thank some veterans on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 for a final time here. It's Ben Fletcher. It's Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. Coming up tomorrow night, right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 6 o'clock. It is SDFC Midweek Live. Hear from the head coach, Mikey Varis, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out latest club and MLS information. SDFC Midweek Live tomorrow at 6 o'clock on your home for SDFC. San Diego Sports 760. Monday, the 24th. Is going to be that next postseason game for SDFC, taking on Minnesota. Going to be a ton of fun down at Snapdragon Stadium. Sammy, I apologize. I don't think I gave you time to reset your long shots lineup ever today. I think I just kind of blew right through it. So if you want to pull that up, I did get a couple DMs saying, Fletch, you didn't let him reset it.
Guys, I need to make sure you got some locks for tonight.
I apologize. That's on me.
It's all right.
I was so concerned about the great college basketball lineup of games we have. I got excited over here. I didn't even let you go through the picks.
All right. Here's 3-pick flex play or power play, whatever you want to do. Jalen Brunson, more than 26.5 points. I think that Memphis defense. Alan Sleevel was just on talking about John Morant. That team is completely discombobulated right now. More than 26.5 points for Jalen Brunson. Kelly Oubre Jr. for Philly taking on Boston. Boston's best defender is Jaylen Brown. He's going to be running around with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe all night. Kelly Oubre having a nice year. More than 15.5 points. And Jimmy Butler taking on Oklahoma City. Key to more than 17.5 points. Key to beating Oklahoma City, you need slashers attacking the paint. Get him in foul trouble. It's not just shooters. Jimmy Butler is the go-to guy tonight over Steph Curry.
And we're not going with free throws.
We're not going with free throws because I just think Jimmy Butler clears this number. I think it's a little bit safer tonight. Normally, I do love me some Jimmy Butler over free throw bets.
Okay.
I do love it. But let's keep in mind, they're in Oklahoma City. Not saying they're getting hometown officiating, but I think he's gonna be able to score. I think he's gonna get 20 tonight. So 17.5 is an easy number for us.
And how about this from the 615? 615 gets our show on the text line here saying, "Hey Fletch, I got a fantasy lender question for you. Full point APR league. I'm thinking of refinancing, but don't know who to go with. Should I call Gary Cooper today? Please let me know." The answer is always yes. Look, if you're trying to talk Padres baseball, if you're trying to talk Aztecs football, if you're trying to talk about refinancing a mortgage, if you're talking about selling your home or buying a home, you're going to call Gary Cooper today. His number is 858-376-1299. You could also visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com, but call Gary Cooper. I talked with him about Craig Stammen for 20 minutes this morning.
I thought that text was saying, I am in a full point PPR league in fantasy football, thinking about refinancing my team.
No.
Shout out to G Coop. That's who you call. It's the only guy in town.
It is the only guy in town. Gary Cooper. He's the absolute. I seriously talked to him for 20 minutes this morning about Craig Stammen. If you want that degree in loanology, because he'll also talk to you about that, call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299.
61.
We love Gary Cooper, man. MountainTrustMortgage.com also.
615 for business reasons. We can't read your full text.
No, that's the full text, man. Gary Cooper's the guy to call.
Actually,
858-376.
I don't get paid. Fletch gets paid, so we're not going to put him in a bad spot.
858-376-1299. Even if I wasn't, dude, Gary Cooper's just a cool ass dude.
No, we love G Coop. Would he like that nickname I just gave him?
I think he'd love it. I think he really
G-Coop.
would. Here's what I know about Gary Cooper. The man says the best French fries in the world are at Wiener Schnitzel. And honestly,
what, really?
They're pretty damn good. I don't know if you've ever had.
I can't really judge it because I don't think I've had fries from Wiener Schnitzel in a long time.
I had never had Wiener Schnitzel, period, before I met Gary Cooper. And he told me about them. And now they are my favorite fast food fries. And I know this about Gary Cooper. You're going to walk into a meeting with Gary feeling dumb, feeling lost. You're going to walk out of that meeting with a degree in loanology. That's what I know. Call him today, 858-376-1299.
Look at that promo.
615, make that phone call, baby. Tell him Fletch sent you. You won't regret it. I promise that. All right, real quick, final thoughts on what we saw last night on Monday Night Football between the Eagles and the Packers.
The Packers.
I do agree with Sammy that the Packers are completely cooked for the rest of this season. I think that maybe we all got a little too excited on Jordan Love. I think maybe we all got a little too excited on Matt LaFleur. I think maybe we all got a little excited on Micah Parsons. Here's the problem with the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is not where he should be at this point in his career. Jordan Love has not taken the steps. Look at Drake May. Look at what Drake May did in one offseason. He went from having some excitement his rookie season, but not really winning games, to all of a sudden in year two, something clicked. Are we honestly going to sit here and say that the New England Patriots wide receiving core is that much better than the Green Bay Packers? The answer is absolutely not.
Well, 100%. And Jordan Love got paid off 6 quarters of football. 6 quarters. He beat
legitimately.
He destroyed the Cowboys. Give him credit. They scored, I believe it was like 49 points in Dallas. Destroyed them. Played really well against the Niners for 2 to 3 quarters. Maybe it was 7 to the first 3 quarters. And then he melted down in the 4th because the Niners came back and won the game. And I'm not saying Jordan Love sucks, but he's also not an elite quarterback. So when we're sitting here going, what's the worst kind of quarterback to have? You're Kirk Cousins. You're middling quarterbacks who are good. They're good QBs. They sell a lot of tickets, but what they don't do is win Super Bowls. And I don't see Jordan Love. I mean, look at this division right now. Detroit is 6-3, leading the division, tied with Chicago because they have a head-to-head win of 6-3. And the Packers are behind them at 5-3-1. In Minnesota, even though I'm not a big Minnesota fan, is still 4-5 and just got their quarterback back. So this is not some runaway division. I mean, you can make an argument the Packers are the 3rd best team in the division.
Is it possible that Sammy Long was spot on about the Chicago Bears? Look, you were very nice to me. You gave me credit twice earlier in the show for some preseason predictions I made. One about Travis Hunter, one about Cooper Flagg. You might have been spot on about the Bears. Now, it's not like it's been pretty for the Chicago Bears.
It's been really ugly at times, actually.
And it's been all over the place. I mean, they got their asses kicked against the Lions earlier this year. Like, we'll see how the season pans out, but 6-3 is 6-3. They started off 1-2.
My thing with the Bears is the longer you keep them in it, and no, some of the wins have not been pretty. They've eked out some wins against some bad teams. But the offense is only going to get better with the marriage between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. So the longer you keep them in it.
Loveland was a home run draft pick. And
yes.
We've seen it the last 2 weeks. He's fully emerged as a top receiving target for the Bears out of the tight end position. The run game is starting to look really nice. Like all of a sudden the Chicago Bears are a problem and Caleb is playing good late in games, which is the biggest reason they're going to be a problem. All right, that's it for us today. Thank you to the veterans. I'm going to give Grandpa Jim one more shout out. Sammy, you got a veteran in your life you want to give a shout out to?
Both my grandpas, both served. So shout out to all you. Shout out to everyone who served. This day is 100% for you, as it should be.
I'll be honest, Monday Night Football got me a little choked up last night with Jason Kelsey telling the story. Oh, man. Good stuff, man. Thank a veteran today. Hug a veteran today. We love y'all. We will see you tomorrow. John and Jim are coming up next.